Hi, my name is Renee Rizzo. This will be a teacher-facing video which will guide you through my adaptation of a small portion of Living Environment, Unit 7, Day 16, Introduction to Cultural Evolution, which I have elected to break down into several smaller parts to accommodate the unique learning needs of students in alternate assessment settings. So, this particular lesson is targeted towards living environment, cultural evolution, how we figured out fermentation. The focus question, which I elected to use from the original lesson, is what is cultural evolution and what are some of the ways that culture has evolved in humans? Some of the vocabulary that I chose because I believe it is necessary for students to understand these terms in order to comprehend the overall lesson are cultural evolution, how way of life changes over time, and fermentation, a chemical change in plant and animal substances useful in making bread, wine, beer, cheese, and other foods humans enjoy. So here I ask students to pause and think about it. How do you define culture? And what do you think of when you hear that word? So I would chart examples of student responses to this question and what they think of culture, because many people have different definitions or associations with this particular word. So after you have had that discussion, you can explain that for the purpose of this lesson, culture is the usual social behaviors in human societies. It includes language, beliefs, food, habits, music, art, the way families interact with each other, the way other people interact with each other, and how people make decisions individually and in groups. And if you so choose, you can stop here and talk about, ask students to provide examples of some different languages that people speak, some different foods that people of different cultures eat, some different cultural examples of music, of art, etc., so that you can really get them thinking about this. So the YouTube video that I would then use from PBS Eons was included in the original lesson, but it was one of 5 videos. And students were broken down into 5 groups to deal with these videos. But I suggest doing a whole class lesson, including the video, so that students can work on this together as a single unit. So here are some questions that I developed based on the video. How can lactic acid and alcohol be helpful? A, they can keep more dangerous bacteria from getting into food. B, they create an environment where other types of bacteria can take hold. C, they make other animals less likely to eat the food item. So the correct answer here is A. They can keep more dangerous bacteria from getting into food. And you could even go into with students that you would not want B to create an environment where other types of bacteria can take hold because these types of bacteria can be very harmful to people. So next question, how can we tell that something might be poisonous or bad for us? A, it tastes sweet. B, it tastes salty. Or C, it tastes bitter. So the video goes in depth into how bitterness or our ability to taste bitter can tell us that something might be poisonous or bad for us. So this is an adaptation that we developed to protect us. So the correct answer here is C. Next question. What ability helped us add helpful fermented foods to our diet? A, the ability to taste sourness. B, the ability to taste sweetness. Or C, the ability to taste saltiness. So the narrator in the video goes into how fermented foods often taste sour to us. So the correct answer here would be A, the ability to taste sourness. Next question. How can fermentation happen to meat? A, if it is frozen, B, if it is heated by the sun, or C, if it is stashed away or buried somewhere. So the correct answer here would be C, if it is stashed away or buried somewhere. And the video even goes into some of our ancient ancestors who purposefully stashed away or buried their food to ferment the meat. Next question. Which vitamin do fermented foods give us access to? A, vitamin A, B, vitamin B, or C, vitamin C? The correct answer to this question is C, vitamin C. And the video explains that vitamin C can be very unstable and hard to keep within foods. But fermenting foods allows us to preserve the vitamin C that foods contain. So, in conclusion, you can ask the students, what have we learned about cultural evolution in this lesson? So, you want to make sure that students are speaking to what they learned in this particular lesson about cultural evolution, as you probably would have gone over some of the other lessons about cultural evolution. So you would hope that student answers have to deal primarily with fermentation or adaptations that people developed in response to fermentation. So if students are on target, that is great. And if they are not, you could definitely go back to the video and review the answers to questions throughout the lesson to ensure that students comprehend what they learned in this particular lesson under the umbrella topic of cultural evolution. So, just to review, this was a teacher facing video which guided you through my adaptation of a small portion of Living Environment, Unit 7, Day 16, Introduction to Cultural Evolution, which I have elected to break down into several smaller parts to accommodate the unique learning needs of students in alternate assessment settings. This particular lesson was about how we figured out fermentation. Thank you for watching.